Jim Chalmers going after our nest eggs.
Well, he's going after nest eggs that are worth more than $3 million, so not ours.
No.
The Treasurer reckons people are pumping more money into superannuation than they'll ever need in retirement, and they're doing it in order to avoid paying tax. And he's right, they are.
No tax? Awesome.
Because people are not complete morons and worked out a very long time ago that if you put money into super, you're taxed at 15% on the way in and 0% on the withdrawals at the other end.
That's good.
That compares with 45% plus the 1.5% Medicare levy you pay outside super if you're in the top tax bracket, which anyone with more than $3 million in super probably would be.
That's bad.
Chalmers says less than 1% of Australia's more than 23 million active super funds have balances of more than $3 million, and of those, the average balance is $6 million. He wants to stop the tax dodge either by capping the amount you can have in your super, which means any sum above $3 million has to be invested in a higher tax environment, or by increasing the amount of money Canberra skims from the sums over $3 million. Jim supporters say people shouldn't be able to use superannuation as a tax-effective way to bolster the kids' inheritance.
Truth be told, yeah, selling would be great. I'll take my money.
His critics say any tinkering with the law discourages people from saving for their own retirement and that $3 million isn't an indulgent amount of money on which to retire. And it's not, particularly with the cost of life's essentials going up.
How much is a gallon of milk?
Well, I mean, like a regular milk or...
Chalmers and Albanese are playing good cop, bad cop on this one.
The PM's desperately trying to convince us no decision's been made about the $3 million cap, even though it clearly has.
No, I said we had no intention, and we certainly, that's not the objective here.
Let's see what Jim thinks about that. The PM's got to hold the line because he went to the last election promising no change to the laws governing our retirement savings.
Said we have no intention of making any super changes.
Now he's promising no major change.
No intention of making any major changes on superannuation. We will have the debate about the purpose and the definition of what it is.
So no major changes to superannuation except for ones about the purpose and definition of superannuation. And at any rate, he says any change, major or otherwise, is purely theoretical.
You know, this is all hypothetical.
As hypothetical as death and taxes. Chalmers has all but conceded the May budget will contain a hit to millionaires.
What do you think? Is that a good thing?
I reckon millionaires didn't become millionaires by writing cheques. And if they can't use super to drive down their tax bills, they'll find other ways.
Oh, where there's a will, there's a way.
But that doesn't mean we shouldn't stop trying to get more money out of them because f*** them, they're rich, and they'll still be drinking Hilla, Grace and Grange regardless of whether they pay the extra $1 billion in tax that Chalmers says a tightening of rules would yield.
Apparently he'll leave me $5 million anyway, so I'm golden, baby.
You can't do anything with 5, Greg. 5's a nightmare.
Is it?
Where Jim is clearly going too far is with his ridiculous plan to somehow manage how superannuation is invested. At the moment, your nest egg is put into businesses that deliver the best returns. That might be a wind farm, social housing, or a private children's hospital.
That's good.
Or more likely, British American Tobacco, Smith & Wesson, or worst of all, an oil and gas company.
That's bad.
Chalmers reckons super funds should invest in things that do some kind of social good. He wants an altruistic mission for the nation's $3.3 trillion in retirement savings. The owners of said $3.3 trillion might feel good about that if said altruism comes with an 8% return.
Money wins. Here's to us.
And the second it doesn't, they'll start asking questions.
Show me the money! So Jim's just throwing the idea out there, right?
The debate is at least making Australians think about their superannuation, something we haven't done since we raided our nest eggs in COVID to pay for critically needed goods and services such as smoother faces and larger breasts. We took compare the pair quite literally.
Come on, get yourself something new.
We're normally so complacent about our nest eggs we don't seem to care that much that we're missing $16 billion from them. That's how much unclaimed super's out there. People lost track of it when they changed funds with a new job.
You're fired.
1 in 4 Australians has more than one super fund. There are thousands of people watching this show who could claim that money right now simply by going onto their MyGov account and consolidating those accounts.
Hang on, just watch the rest of the show first.
That's true. As long as you're doing something about your super, think of this. If you're an Australian who ever had a job in the United Kingdom, working holiday kind of thing when you're in your 20s, here's a financial hack that can make you a lot of money.
Wait, scam?
This is not a scam, it is not crypto. Britain's got what is known as a universal age pension scheme. Everyone gets it regardless of how rich they are.
License to thrill.
How much you get depends on how much you contributed when you were working. Financial commentator Nick Bruni, he runs an online advice service called NetPlan at the moment, has crunched the numbers. The maximum pension you can get is £203 a week, and to get that you need to have contributed for 35 years. To get any of it, you need to have contributed for 10.
Well, that's a very long working holiday.
Well, here's the hack. As long as you were part of the system in the UK for 3 years, you can make contributions from Australia to get up to 10 and therefore qualify for part of the UK pension. Most people will need to chuck in £163 a year. That's just shy of 300 Australian dollars. These numbers change slightly depending on the currency conversion, obviously. Each extra year you contribute buys 1/35 of the full pension. 302 extra pounds a year when you reach British pension age. It's 66 at the moment, going up to 68. A one-off investment of $290 gets you about $540 a year. That's a pretty good return.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
It gets better. Until April this year, you can back pay 16 years in one hit. It's normally 6, but right now it's 16. They added 10 years on. If you do that after your original 3 years of contributions, you get 19/35 of the full age pension, which is a bit over 5,700 quid a year at the moment. And like ours, will go up every year.
Wow.
Invest $4,640 and get 10 grand a year until the day you die. And your investment is guaranteed by the government of Great Britain, which, unlike here, might actually mean something.
Sorry.
I'm Ben Harvey. For more Up Late, click the subscribe button below.